Welcome to the next episode, everyone. This time, it's probably not going to be a long episode. People seemed quite happy with me explaining my logic gates or my memory logic in my previous video, so I thought I'd just make a real quick video on some of the timers I use as well. A bit more basic, but still handy stuff to know. Anyway, I'll shut up and get on with it. In this video, I am going to explain memory unit timers, or at least this one, an adjustable timer, and a rapid timer. And then I will give you an example of how to make an automatic trigger and possibly set up an automatic dispensary at the food processing to show you how to use them. So the first one is this memory unit timer. I did quite a big video or detailed video on this in my previous video, so I'm not going to get into it too much now. So if you're unsure on how this works, go back and check that video out. I just have it here because I do use it a lot. And it is an adjustable timer, however it is an on or off timer. So that means it wouldn't be good for something like a trigger on a gun, because it's just going to turn on once and hold that function until it turns off again. Good for things like doors and controllers and stuff like that. If you want a simpler adjustable timer because you often do not need the memory unit, we'll use one of these. This is made up of a timer, a NOR gate, and an OR gate, and it's pretty simple. If you've watched my gate tutorial, you'll know that a NOR gate wants to start on when it has an input. That will be our input. So our NOR gate is going to connect to our OR gate, which will connect to our timer, and back to our NOR gate. And as it starts on, it's automatically going to try and complete the circuit, and when the signal gets back, it's going to turn off. So you create a timer. And by adjusting this value, you can adjust how long it stays on and it stays off. So it's pretty simple. And it's pretty compact as well because it's only 3 components. So this will allow you, well, you can actually have as much time as you want because you can just keep adding more and more timers. If you require a longer duration, you can run into the next timer and then into the gate. So this system will allow you to do anything from 1 tick up to an infinite amount of time. I'm going to set this to 1 tick just so that we have a nice fast timer. The reason I personally like this timer is if you hook a switch up to that NOR gate, you can lock it off. So I find this a very handy way to control things. For example, we connect to our gun now. So it's going to shoot and stop shooting. To reverse that, let's just disconnect our gun before we run out of ammunition. To have it so that its default is off, simply put in another NOR gate. Because that wants to be on, which is going to turn that one off by default. So now you've changed the default state of the circuit. This is how I would wire up my guns. And finally, that brings me to this, the simplest timer there is. This timer is non-adjustable, but it is a very rapid timer, the fastest timer I know how to make and the simplest timer I know how to make. Very good for running things like your defenses and stuff like that. It's very simple. Set 1 gate to NOR, 1 gate to OR, and another gate to OR. So basically, when this one turns on, it's going to turn this one on, which is going to turn this one on, which is going to turn that one off. And this is where understanding what a tick is happens, because it takes 1 tick to get there, 1 tick to get there, and then a tick to come over and turn off, which means we create a 2-tick cycle, and is very rapid in firing things. you'll notice that this doesn't fire as fast as this one. That's because the gun cannot actually fire that fast. You can achieve the same thing with this circuit by setting the timer down to 0, because now we have that same 3-tick system happening here, because there's no delay in the timer. You'll see that it shoots that fast. If you give the gun a proper signal, we can increase its rate of fire. So that's all of them. They're pretty simple. Like I say, they all work very similar, but they're quite different. This one's adjustable. This one has an on and off feature and an adjustable timer. This one is just a straight timer, but it's very rapid. I have already built an automatic dispensary into my delivery truck here. So I'm just going to go over to the food packing plant and build one with you guys quick so that you hopefully find it as easy as I do. Okay guys, I'm just going to build it on my lift because like I say I already have one, but I suggest you build this in your vehicle and then you can just, drive around with it. All I'm going to do is put down 2 gates and a timer. Set one of them to NOR, the other one to OR, make that simple tick timer. Whoops. Now I'm going to put down another NOR gate just so that I can flip the state of my input switch so that the default is off. And it only turns on when I turn on the switch now. Right, we're done. Now this needs to hook to our vacuum hopper. And that's it. I have moved it up to the front so that, we can actually turn it on. I have put some beats in the chest because that's the dispenser we've hooked up to, and now you'll see when we hit that button, it will fire. But you will notice that it's not firing as fast as the circuit is. And that is because the vacuum hoppers or dispensers they're not allowed to shoot that fast. The game just says no. I think their maximum speed is twice per second or half a second each tick. Sorry, each action. So now, if we turn it back on, we get a consistent timer and delivery. See, isn't that simple? Something else I personally like to do as an added safety measure when I put this on my vehicle, because sometimes I accidentally push the button, which means I start wasting my fruit, which I hate wasting my fruit. So I also put a sensor on the front that is set to detect 3 blocks, turn off, so yeah, 4 blocks. That is set to detect only 1 block in front of the hopper, so that I basically have to drive into something in order to turn that sensor on. And then I'll hook that sensor up to an AND gate. So sensor to the AND gate, the switch to the AND gate, and then that into the system. So now we've created this switch to turn it on and off, and we've also put in this safety where if we haven't driven close enough to the dispensary machine for it to open, this sensor won't turn on, so it'll be off, and we won't be able to waste or deliver any fruit until we've moved closer. I hope you guys find this helpful. As an example, there are so many ways you could use this, but this is much better than standing here mashing on a button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.